Hey everybody, I'm Chef Tom with atbbq.com, and this is Coconut Curry Salmon. Well, when you eat good, you feel good, and this is a comfort food dish that you can feel really good about. This coconut curry salmon is super comforting. It's warm, it's creamy, and we're serving it over a bed of wild rice with big time flavor. First thing we're gonna do today is fire up the grill, and we're cooking on the Coconut Joe Konnected Joe, which is gonna make things real easy. We're gonna load this up with some big block charcoal, nice big lump charcoal. Get this arranged with the big pieces on the bottom so we have nice airflow, the smaller pieces on top. Let's pop this on and set the temp to 450. Now while the grill warms up, we're gonna start cooking our wild rice. And the first thing we need to do is a little bit of knife work here on our shallot. We're just gonna slice this pretty thin. So now on a skillet over medium heat, we're gonna add a little bit of chili infused oil that we're gonna cook the shallots down in. We're gonna put just about a 1/4 teaspoon now of our Jacobsen black garlic infused salt on those onions to help them start draw out that moisture. We wanna see these, you know what, I'm gonna turn this up to medium high just because I wanna get a little bit of color on these before we throw in the rice. Because they're gonna have like a good hour or so to cook down with the rice, so let's just get a little color on them first. And now continuing with the aromatics, we're gonna throw in some lime zest with our wild rice. So let's go ahead and take off the zest of 1 lime. So we got some of that browning around the edges now. We're gonna add in our wild rice. We got a 1/2 cup of the Rancho Gordo, California wild rice. I wanna pour in 1.5 cups of veggie stock, and then add our lime zest. And that's just gonna simmer until the husks on that wild rice bust open and it cooks down until it's softened. Throw the lid on so we don't lose all that liquid to evaporation. Now a little table work to go into the curry portion of this. We're gonna slice 1 more shallot, nice and thin, just like we did for the wild rice. Next, we've got some garlic. We're gonna break this down super fine so it melts right into the curry using the microplane. I'm gonna grate up about 1 tablespoon of garlic. I'm gonna do the same thing with ginger, but we're gonna peel that skin off the outside first. And now we get to the salmon. So I've got 4 portions of salmon here. They're about 4 to 4.5 ounces each in portion size. We're gonna hit these with a little bit of that chili oil and then get them seasoned up with our Cattleman's Provisioners blend. Now this seasoning right here, I designed for Cattleman's Grill. It was specifically designed with salmon in mind, although it can be used on all kinds of other seafood as well as chicken and veggies. It's got some bright flavors to it. It's got some citrus in it. It's got some ginger in it. All things that are gonna work really well with this coconut curry. Inside the Konnected Joe, I have a Lodge 12-inch cast iron skillet that's been preheating for the last 5 to 10 minutes. I'm gonna add some more chili oil to this skillet. And what we're gonna do here is step 1, we're searing our salmon off. So I'm gonna put this in skin side down. We're gonna get a nice sear on the salmon, both sides. We'll get the skin side, we'll get the top side just a little bit. And then we're gonna start to build our curry in this skillet without the salmon, return it and let it braise here until it's fully cooked. Like I said, this has been at 450 for the preheat, but we don't need it that hot for the entire cook. So I'm gonna turn this down now to 350. We've got all the heat we need on that pan. Let's go ahead and set that. Searing time, we're not trying to get the internal temperature up yet, so I'm just going to leave this open. In fact, what I can do is open the door on this on the bottom and really bump up that heat for a second. You don't want to do this while the lid is closed or you'll get flames coming out because of the fan that pushes air through, but we're going to add more air by opening that fan. Got a good sear on that skin side, so we're gonna flip these over and get just a little bit of color on that flesh side as well. All right, we got a little color on top and bottom now, so we're gonna take these out of the skillet and start to build this curry. Let's start with the shallots here. Get a little color on those, using that little bit of salmon fat that we've got in there along with the chili oil. Get these just a little bit softened before we add the rest of our aromatics. Shallots are softened, getting a little color on them now. So let's go ahead and throw in our garlic and our ginger that we grated up earlier, as well as a tablespoon of red curry paste. I'll let that cook down for just about a minute, minute and a half. Next, we're gonna add in 1 can of coconut milk. Gonna spice it up with about 1 tablespoon of our Yellowbird Blue Agave Sriracha, as well as a couple teaspoons of fish sauce. So this is just gonna kind of simmer away, and we're gonna finish cooking the salmon in this using a braising method. So now the salmon's just gonna sit right down in there. We're gonna close up the lid and let this cook until that salmon comes up to about 135. We're just about 6-7 minutes into this braising process, already coming up to about 125. Now before this whole thing is done, now that the sauce is kind of getting reduced a bit, we're gonna just spoon this over the top of the salmon, kind of get it fully coated in that sauce as it cooks down. So just about 12 minutes into this cook, we've come up to that 135, 140 range. We're ready to pull these off. Well, our wild rice is finally tender. We did have to add about an extra cup of liquid just to get it all the way there. But what you're looking for is you want these little husks to kind of bust open, and just take a bite every once in a while. Check out how tender it is, because that's what you're really looking for, is you want that wild rice to get tender. Otherwise, it's going to be real chewy. Got that salmon staying warm over here in the skillet. We're gonna do a little squeeze of lime juice over the top of everything before we plate this up. Grab one of these, plop that right on top of our wild rice. And then obviously we've got all this great curry sauce left in the skillet. We're just gonna spoon a little bit more over the top. Hit that with some cilantro, and that's ready to go. Here we go. That salmon is just melt in your mouth tender. Picking up on that coconut and that curry right off the bat. The wild rice actually offers a really great contrast difference, like in texture. Yeah, because that salmon's just so tender. You get just a little bit of like crunch from the husks on that wild rice. But then inside it's tender. The flavor is huge. I can't get enough of this dish. I'm making it again tomorrow. I'll see you guys later. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out atbbq.com for all the products featured in today's video. If you enjoy the recipe, hit that subscribe button. And if you have any questions or comments, or there's anything you'd like to see me cook, let me know in the comment section down below, and let's be good to one another. For more recipes, tips, and techniques, head over to atbbq.com/thesauce. All things barbecue, where barbecue legends are made.